Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Arab American Civil Rights League's 13th annual Fight for Justice Gala. My name is Faraz Javed, and I'm a reporter for Channel 7 now. But this is my second time doing this event. I'm emceeing. This is my second time. Last time was great. I got to, hang out with you guys, and we did a lot of, back and forth. This time around, I was told to add some more jokes. So I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but just know that it's because of public demand, I'm going to be adding jokes in, all right? And if you like it, maybe there's a tip jar at the back. That would be great. But anyway, so I'm your MC for tonight, and this is a powerful evening of unity, advocacy, and celebration. On behalf of Arab American Civil Rights League, we thank you for joining us tonight at the Ford Community and Performing Arts Center. Tonight we gather not only to recognize those who have championed justice in our communities, but also to stand in solidarity with the mission of ACRL to protect civil rights, uplift the underserved, and ensure that all voices are heard and respected. So tonight we're honored to be joined by dignitaries, judges, elected officials, community leaders, advocates, and many of you who have played vital roles in advancing justice at every level. Throughout the evening, you'll hear from inspiring speakers, see powerful video highlights, and witness the recognition of change makers who have made everlasting impact. But before we begin, we got to do something super important, all right? We got to make a change right this second.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Mariam Sharara serves as the executive director of ACRL and has been instrumental in expanding the organization's reach and impact both locally and nationally. Her journey with ACRL began more than a decade ago, first as an intern and now as the one guiding this organization through some of the most important advocacy work of our time, from responding to global crisis to building bridges with policymakers and community leaders. Mariam brings strength, compassion, and tireless dedication to every part of ACRL's mission. Let's all welcome to the stage Mariam Sharara, Executive Director of the Arab American Civil Rights League.
Thank you, Faraz, and thank you all for being here tonight. Before I share a few words, I want to begin by showing you a short video that captures the heartbeat of ACRL, the people, the stories, and the mission that bring us all together in the fight for justice.
Southeastern Michigan is home to the largest concentration of Arab Americans and very much large Muslim Americans in the region. I'm an American, and I believe in this country, and I believe in the First Amendment, and I'm going to exercise my right under the First Amendment, under the Constitution, to speak up
This was an attack on our community. We are here today to say enough is enough.
Let us take this moment to reaffirm our commitment to justice. Let us not be silent.
Lansky tried to stab 7-year-old Saida on top of slashing her throat.
I feel scared and I don't want to go to school anymore.
She told me if I don't like it, I should go back to my own country. It crushed me.
Tried to sell a car to a dealership. She pushed me away. Oh, you're Muslim? End of conversation.
My aunt was met with intimidation and mistreatment by the U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
He was just being a bully. Imagine it was your children. You will be heartbroken too.
This person obviously has a clear bias towards Arab or Muslim Americans. And not only do we want him disciplined, I want him fired now.
Recognizing just the importance of immigrants to our state, I would challenge anyone who stands up for civil rights and for civil liberties to remember that we have to stand up for everyone.
We're here for you, standing up for you on these issues, and we'll be ready. If we have to step into federal court, it's not our first rodeo. Let us.
Can you, in a nutshell, what's the role of the Arab American Civil Rights League? What would you say?
I'll say on the top of the podium is to protect you, to protect the Arab American community, to protect
our civil liberty.
Protect our civil liberty.
Advocates for the Arab American Civil Rights League are working with community leaders to make sure people know their rights.
The Arab American Civil Rights League holding this press conference in Dearborn Monday.
It's crucial that people know what they are entitled to under the law and how they can protect themselves and their loved ones.
ACRL is absolutely committed to protecting the rights of Muslim Americans and Arab Americans across the country so that they do not face discrimination and instead know their rights.
We ask you to go as the Secretary of State of the United States of America and work to protect American citizens.
We're here at Wayne State University. We're here to make sure as ACRL to protect those students and make sure that their First Amendment rights are not violated.
Reach out and touch with the Savior's hand. On rock we stand like it's native land. Let the ways of love be the ways of man.
What did you do when the genocide was happening in Palestine? You can tell me we were right here advocating for the Arab American Civil Rights League and standing and taking action against genocide.
Civil rights leaders and government officials from here in Metro Detroit have now been partnering with one another to bring back more than 60 people.
What you just watched, that was 95% of what we accomplished just last year alone. Let that sink in, just 1 year, and yet it barely scratches the surface of what the ACRL has done over the past decade. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miriam Sharara, and I have the profound honor of serving as the Executive Director of the Arab American Civil Rights League. It's not just a title, it's a calling. ACRL is the forefront of justice, advocacy, and truth-telling. We are the voice for the voiceless, the bridge between silence and justice. Tonight, I stand before you, not just as a director, but as a woman, a first-generation American, a daughter, and a community member who has carried the weight of this work deeply, sometimes silently. These past couple years have been the hardest of my life. I've had to sit across mothers pleading for help, read messages from American families whose loved ones are trapped in war zones, and wake up each day to the pain and trauma our community is enduring, from Gaza to Lebanon to the borders of our very own country. I've seen children shattered by violence, families broken apart, and human rights violated without consequence. And yet, even in our grief and exhaustion, we rise, we get up, we keep going, because our people deserve better, and someone has to fight for them. I personally traveled to Washington, D.C., knocking on the doors of our legislators, meeting with the members of Congress, and advocating face-to-face for our families, families torn apart, left behind, or silenced. We've carried their stories into the halls of power and demanded that our voices be heard, because silence is not an option, not when our people are suffering. Through that work, we helped over 65 United States citizens evacuate a war zone when their lives were hanging in the balance. We contacted the State Department, met with congressional officials, made the issue public, and fought relentlessly for their evacuation. It was a race against time, and we did not back down. That's what advocacy looks like, and that's what justice in action looks like. I want to take a moment to personally recognize a man whose vision, courage, and unshakable belief made all of that possible. Our chairman and founder, Nabi Hayat. Nabi, you are a trailblazer. You take on the cases no one else will. You challenge systems that others are too afraid to confront. You reminded me and continue to remind me that speaking truth to power is non-negotiable. That when injustice shows up, we don't run, we lean in, we show up, and we fight. Thank you for believing in this mission, and thank you for believing in me. What makes ACRL different is not just that we speak up, it's that we act. Whether it's supporting Seda Mushra, a child brutally attacked and left in the major scars, or helping families connect with their congressional representative to save loved ones trapped in war zones, we are there. We fought for immigration relief, secured humanitarian pathways, held government officials and agencies accountable, and elevated cases that others tried to bury. But what many don't see, what doesn't make the news, is the pain behind the progress. The quiet moments, the courtroom handholds, the late night calls, the weight we carry when families break down and we're the only ones there to witness it. Our community knows there's more behind closed doors. We don't just advocate, we show up with our whole hearts. This work demands compassion and resilience, and we give it over and over again. And when it's time to take those stories public, we've shown up at courtrooms, at press conferences, and on the steps of the state capitals. We've stood with grieving families. We've taught people their rights because your rights matter, and no one should ever be left wondering if they'll be treated with fairness in their own country. But the work is not done in isolation. It takes all of us, and that's what tonight's about: unity, purpose, and power. We are building a movement, one rooted in compassion, fueled by justice, and carried forward by our youth. They are watching. They are learning from us, and soon they will be the ones holding the mic, leading the charge, and changing the legacy. Let tonight be more than a celebration. Let it be a declaration that we will not stay silent, that we will not turn away, that we will use our voices, whether in person, online, by email, or a simple call. Because yes, even a single voice can shake the ground beneath injustice. ACRL is not just a civil rights organization. We are a lifeline, a force, and a movement. And I ask you tonight to continue standing with us, to uplift our mission, to never underestimate the impact of your presence, your support, and your voice. Thank you for believing in the ACRL. Thank you for standing on the side of justice, and thank you from the depths of my heart for being here tonight. We are just getting started.
Thank you, Mariam. Really appreciate that. So, tonight's event also emphasizes on transparency. And so keeping up with that theme, I want to let you know that all guests will get 2 minutes to speak, except for Mariam. Mariam said that she's the only one who'll get more. So I guess another round of applause for going over time. All right. It is now my great honor to welcome to the stage a man whose vision, passion, and leadership built the foundation of this organization. We're talking about the ACRL. Someone who has spent decades defending the rights of the marginalized, speaking truth to power, and standing tall for Arab American communities nationwide. Nabi Ayad is not only the man who knows where to buy the perfect suit, he's also a respected civil rights attorney. The founder and chairman of the Arab American Civil Rights League, his unwavering commitment to justice has guided this organization through some of the most defining moments in our community's history. So please join me in welcoming Nabi Ayad to the stage.
Can we give it up for Faraz, please? I tell you, if this media stuff doesn't work out for you, you got a job at GQ, brother. You know that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. This is such a great honor. This is over our 15 years that we've been doing this. Obviously, with COVID, we had to take back a couple years with no events. I just want to recognize my dear friend Simon Sheket here from Channel 7 Anchor, Channel 7 News. He's always told our story. He was basically, they say when you want your story be told, you tell it yourself, but Simon has been telling our story, so I appreciate you, Simon, as always. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I want to thank you for being here this evening, your presence and telling of the great work this organization has been doing. I want to congratulate all our awardees. They are all very special individuals that work every day to do God's work. I want to thank our sponsors, especially our underwriters, Specialty and Team Wellness. Yusuf Al-Madrahi, where are you? Please stand up. Thank you. Thank you for all your wonderful things. And the CEOs of Team Wellness, Tony Policello. I don't think he's here this night, but thank you so much, Tony. You've always been a sponsor and a friend and a brother. We appreciate you. We couldn't keep our doors open without your support and effort and believe in what we do and our mission that what we do. I want to thank our dynamic board. If we can get the things out there. This is one hell of a dynamic board. I really appreciate, and I ask that you all stand up, our board members. I know some of our board members, some of them are in Mackinac Conference, some of them are dealing with some personal tragedy, but please stand up and please give an applause to our wonderful board members. These are very important individuals. They don't have to do what they do, but they do it, volunteer their work each and every day, to give to the cause, to give back to the community, and do God's work each and every day. So thank you, our board members. Lastly, I want to thank our esteemed Executive Director, Miriam Sharara. Please give her a round of applause. She's been doing a wonderful job. I know she has. She's been working her ass off for the last couple of months, so we appreciate you, Miriam. I know you're doing some wonderful things, so we thank you. I know we are missing a few regulars this evening. We have the Mackinac Conference that's going on. You see a lot of your state dignitaries that are not going to be here, your state reps, some of the federal agents, federal folks. But they wanted to give their apologies for not being here this evening. We understand that. Some of our board members, there's a lot of graduation parties going on as well. So if you don't see some of our normal board members, it's because they're attending their family, their children's graduation parties. We can't blame them for that. But we still have a sold-out crowd tonight, so thank you all for being here, and thank everyone that's been a part of this. It is an honor to stand here before you today to highlight the vital work that the Arab American Civil Rights League, an organization that has been at the forefront of advocating for justice, equality, and civil rights for the Arab Americans and communities across the nation. Since its founding of over a decade and a half ago, the ACRL has been a beacon of hope, of resilience. In a time when our communities face discrimination, profiling, and marginalization, the ACRL emerged as a powerful voice fighting to ensure that our civil rights are recognized, protected, and celebrated. Through advocacy, education, and activism, the ACRL has worked tirelessly to combat Islamophobia, xenophobia, and racial profiling, standing as a shield for our community's dignity and rights. Over the years, the ACRL has played a pivotal role in shaping policy, challenging unjust laws, and raising awareness about the diverse cultures and histories of Arab Americans. Whether through community outreach, legal actions, or protecting grassroots protests, ACRL has demonstrated unwavering dedication to justice. For those of you folks that are speaking, please give a little silence. This is important, what we do each and every day, so let's hear this out, please. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Today, as we gather in a time of ongoing conflict and human suffering and the genocide that is taking place in real time in Gaza, the work of the ACRL takes on even a greater significance as the words of the great civil rights Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." Those words ring home more than ever these days. We remember the innocent civilians, the children whose lives have been cut short, the urgent need for peace and justice in the region. The plight of Gaza reminds us of the importance of advocating for human rights everywhere, and the responsibility that we have to stand in solidarity with those suffering under occupation, violence of almost 8 years. And yes, for Sudan and Congo as well. All individuals are suffering around the world. Moreover, the spirit of activism continues within our communities and campuses. The student protesters across this country have been courageously raising their voices, calling for justice, peace, and the end of violence. These are the same, thank you can clap to that. These are the same individuals that are going to be our future leaders, our future senators, our future legislatures, Congress folks, presidents. These are the same individuals, the colleagues that we know that the students from the times of apartheid to the Vietnam War, to Black Lives Matter, to now to Gaza, they've always been on the side of history. So don't underestimate the power of the students. You can't call them stupid or dumb or isolate them because they know. They know very well. These are the most educated, most smartest kids in the country. You can't tell them that what you're doing is wrong. That's why they are so important to this cause. Moreover, the spirit of activism continues within our communities. Today we gather not just as individuals, but as a diverse community bound by the shared commitment to justice, compassion, and the unwavering belief in the dignity of every human being. It is this moment that we speak about courage, the courage to stand against injustice, to uplift those whose voices are silenced, and to prioritize humanity and personal gain. This is what it's all about. You put humanity and justice before your career and your capitalism and everything else. That's why our awardees are here tonight. Cori Bush gave up her career as a United States Congresswoman. Sean King was banned on Instagram for basically doing the right thing, talking about Gaza. 6 million followers, and they banned him. All of these awardees, from Paul Abadi to Chad Newton, to all these people stood in their thing to do the right thing. That's what ACRL is about. That's what justice is about. Please give them all a round of applause. Across the world, and especially in Gaza, we see the profound struggles of people facing unimaginable adversity. Innocent lives cut short, children dreaming of peace, families yearning for safety, children burning alive, mothers burying their entire family in just one evening. No doubt Gaza has become the world's slaughterhouse. And make no mistake about it. This isn't a conflict. This isn't a war. This is a goddamn slaughterhouse. What's going on in Gaza? A slaughterhouse made predominantly of children and women. Yet it feels at times the world can do nothing to stop this hell on earth partaking on humanity. Of the many stories and pictures and videos that we see on a daily basis in real time, a genocide is happening. It reminds us of all our collective responsibility. True courage lies not in silence or apathy, but in action, standing with those who suffer, advocating for those rights, and refusing to turn away. In the face of such hardship, it is easy to be overwhelmed. Yet history has taught us it is often the smallest acts of bravery that ignite the greatest change. Courage is choosing empathy over indifference, hope over despair, humanity over careerism and complacency. It's about recognizing that our shared humanity transcends borders, politics, and prejudice. Let us honor those who have put compassion above personal ambition, activists, medics, volunteers, and everyday press heroes, who risk everything to serve others. Their sacrifices remind us that true leadership is rooted in the service, and that standing up for justice is the noblest endeavor. To those in position of influence, and there's many of you in here, I urge you, use your platform to amplify the voices of the oppressed. Prioritize the well-being of humanity over personal or political gain. Remember, history will remember not just the titles you hold, but more importantly, the moral courage you embody. And to every individual listening today, find your courage, speak out against injustice, extend kindness where it's most needed, and let us be the beacons of hope, champions of peace, advocates for future where dignity and human rights are universal. In closing, let us be inspired in the resilience of those are suffering in Gaza and around the world, who endure unimaginable hardships. Let their courage ignite our own. Because when we choose to put humanity first, we forge a path toward a more just and compassionate, united world. As we look to the future, let us reaffirm our commitment to advocacy, education, and solidarity, the struggles faced by our brothers and sisters in Gaza, the fight against discrimination here at home, and the ongoing efforts by student day activists. Let all are interconnected threads in the fabric of justice that we must continue to weave. Thank you, and God bless you. I appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight.
Thank you, Nabi, for your powerful words and continued leadership. All right. By the way, I forgot to make this announcement. My bad. I should have made this earlier. So, you know, there's who's ever coming to the stage and they're speaking, there's going to be a pop quiz, and whoever aces that, they get dinner. So that's what's super important to pay attention. And if you didn't like that joke, that's all Simon's fault. He gave me that joke. So, Simon. All right, now let's recognize two underwriter sponsors whose generous support made tonight's gala possible. The first underwriter sponsor is Specialty Medical Center, a leader in regenerative medicine and holistic wellness dedicated to helping patients live healthier, pain-free lives through innovative, non-invasive treatments. From advanced therapies to personalized care, Specialty Medical Center has set the standard for compassionate, forward-thinking healthcare in our region. Their unwavering support for this gala and for ACRL's mission reflects more than just sponsorship. It reflects a deep, shared commitment to the community's well-being, dignity and care, and civil rights of all individuals. ACRL is proud to recognize their leadership and partnership in the fight for equity and access. We now move into one of the most inspiring portions of tonight's program, recognizing those whose impact has shaped our legal system, uplifted our communities, and embodied the mission of the Arab American Civil Rights League. These honorees remind us of what's possible when advocacy meets courage and compassion meets leadership. To present a first award, please welcome ACRL board member Zaina Jurovsky to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening. My name is Zaina Makki Jurovsky, and I have the distinct honor of presenting this evening's Achievement in Civil Rights Award. Tonight's awardee is no stranger to the courtroom. He is a beloved figure in our community and a nationally recognized force in civil rights and employment law. Attorney Sharif Acrl has been named one of Forbes' top 200 lawyers in America and has earned the title of super lawyer for 19 consecutive years. With over 28 years of experience, Mr. Acrl has taken on high-stakes cases against some of the most powerful institutions, securing justice in matters of civil rights, employment discrimination, and whistleblower protections. His work has led to national reforms in safety standards. He has helped to end discriminatory practices and protected religious freedoms across the country. Attorney Acrl's advocacy extends beyond U.S. borders. He has challenged the U.S. no-fly list and has even taken on human rights cases stemming from Abu Ghraib, culminating into a multi-million-dollar verdict holding a corporation accountable for crimes against humanity. That's no small feat. As if that were not enough, As if that were not impressive enough, he also holds both a CPA and an MBA, bringing a multidisciplinary lens to his mission, which is to use the law as a tool for lasting change and institutional accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating Attorney Sharif Acrl as he receives ACRL's Achievement in Civil Rights Award.
Thank you very much, the Arab American Civil Rights League. It's an honor to be before many of you, many trailblazers here, legends, pillars of the community. It really is an honor, and I'm very humbled to be recognized for this. You know, the results of Abu Ghraib is a testament of how great America can be. Nowhere in the world can a country have a jury and hold and award a bunch of money to individuals of another country, only in America. What's important about this was the vision of the Founding Fathers, and it's relevant for why we're here today. The law that we used for the Abu Ghraib case was a 1789 law passed by the Founding Fathers to promote goodwill around the world. The purpose of the law was to hold people accountable for engaging in war crimes against humanity. And this is the very law that we used to reach that successful result. Today we are facing a constitutional crisis, there's no question. Our judges and Congress, legislatures, are being tested and intimidated. Our way of life is being threatened. This is different than September 11, where we were attacked from the outside. Here, our very First Amendment is being attacked. And this is very serious. Our students are being silenced. Many of you have come to America for the First Amendment, to be free from persecution, free from fear and intimidation. And it's like almost a deja vu. Some are suffering PTSD, post-traumatic, that this is happening again. So it is important to recognize the seriousness of this. At this time, we are to show the strongest fidelity to the Constitution. Lawyers, judges, and social activists, you are all foot soldiers to guard and protect the Constitution for us and for our generation. Let's hold the line together and let's have a future that was envisioned by the Founding Fathers. Thank you.
Congratulations, Attorney Sharif Akil, and of course, thank you, Zaina. All right, next, please welcome ACRL board member Mona Fadallah to the stage to present Outstanding Leadership in Justice Award.
Good evening. Thank you, Sharif, for being up here. Microphone's perfect here. Am I on this clock too? Okay, well, I'll be quick. Good evening. Thank you, Nabi, Mariam, Zaina. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm here to introduce Mr. Chad Newton, who serves as the Chief Executive Officer of the Wayne County Airport Authority, overseeing operations at Detroit Metropolitan Wayne County Airport and Willow Run, Michigan's busiest airport system. With over 36 years in public service and more than 26 years at DTW, Mr. Newton brings a deep-rooted commitment to leadership, safety, and community engagement. A U.S. Army veteran and former Wayne County Deputy Sheriff, he rose through the ranks to lead the Airport Authority's Public Safety Division before being appointed CEO in 2018. Under his leadership, DTW has earned multiple national honors, including the J.D. Power Award for Customer Satisfaction and the Airport Efficiency Excellence Award. Mr. Newton is deeply committed to economic inclusion, with over 60% of posted contracts awarded to certified small business enterprises in recent years. He also launched the DTW Golf Classic, raising over $700,000 for local nonprofits in just 3 years. A proud graduate of Eastern Michigan University, Mr. Newton holds both a bachelor's and master's degree and is a graduate of the FBI National Academy and serves on EMU's Board of Regents. He's also the first CEO of the Airport Authority to be designated an accredited airport executive by the American Association of Airport Executives. Chad Newton is a model of servant leadership, innovation, and unwavering dedication to advancing the region and the people. Please give it up for Mr. Newton.
Just real quickly, I don't want to do a Kanye West on Mr. Newton, but we love this guy. Chad, there's a lot of stories that can tell you what Chad has done. And then most recently, when we called him up at the airport and we said, listen, we have some children that were being flown on from Gaza for medical services, and we want to make sure there's going to be a whole bunch of people over there supporting. Chad, quick to the point, he had his whole entire team make sure that they're accommodated, they're well, everything went so smoothly. This is just yet a small example of what Chad Newton has done for the community. I can't talk about all the other stuff that he's done for the community, but I love this brother. Him and his wonderful wife, Rhonda, has been so great to this community, and we love you, Chad, and God bless you. No Kanye West there, right?
Thank you, Nabi, and I'd like to reclaim my time. I do get 2 minutes, right? I'd like to recognize everyone in the room here. There's a lot of people that I know and some people that I don't know, but it's a privilege to get to know you. I've been attending this event since 2018, and never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be an awardee for this event. I am very fortunate to be the CEO of the Wayne County Airport Authority, which oversees Detroit Metro Airport and Willow Run Airport. No one who has ever been successful has done that without the help of other people. I first want to start by thanking just a few people. The Wayne County Executive, Warren C. Evans, for his strong leadership since 2015. What he and his team have done in turning the county around has been amazing. I want to thank my past board members for giving me an opportunity over 7 years ago and taking a chance on me. And I want to thank my current board members for their continued support and encouragement. We have a wonderful team at the Wayne County Airport Authority, and I want to thank them for their outstanding work. Detroit Metro Airport has a very significant impact in Southeast Michigan, as many of you know. It generates $10.2 billion in economic impact and supports over 86,000 jobs. Our team has done a great job opening up opportunities for many people who have been overlooked in the past. Within all groups, there are talented people. However, not all groups get the same opportunities as other groups. As long as I remain in this position, I will keep fighting for those who have not been given the opportunities as others. With 21 seconds left, I just want to say that I had a conversation with my wife as I was preparing my remarks, and I said, would it be okay if I publicly thanked you? And she said, thank you for the gesture, but absolutely not, so do not publicly thank me. So I want, as a good husband, I want to officially not thank my wife for being by my side for the last 35 years through the ups and downs, for being my strongest supporter through the good times and the bad, and for giving me 2 wonderful children 33 years ago and 30 years ago. But if I were to thank her, she's given me plenty of reason to do so. Thank you.
Congratulations, Chad. And of course, thank you, Mona, as well. Well, Chad, since you did mention your wife, is it possible you could stand right next to her and we can give her and you a round of applause? There we go. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Another beautiful aspect of the ACRL Gala, we bring people together too. All right, to present our final award in this segment, please welcome one of ACRL's most distinguished board members and a longtime civil rights leader, Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, to present the Lifelong National Commitment to Justice Award.
Let me say good evening to all of you. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Word up. Peace. Welcome to the D, Dearborn. Let me say, first of all, congratulations to all of the honorees, those who have received as well as those who are yet to receive. Has anyone in here ever founded anything, started anything, started any organization or started any movement, that you started something on your own? Raise your hand if you started something. You know, when you start something, sometimes you are by yourself. You have to put your money in. You have to put your time in. You have to put your heart and your soul in it. Nabiya Yard started the ACRL. Nabiya Yard has been the force behind the ACRL. That's why I'm standing here. Nabiya Yard comes strong. He ain't scared. He speaks up for all of us. And he deserves the kind of recognition that comes when somebody stands in the breach. He stands in the breach for the Arab community, for the African American community, for women, for everybody. I think he deserves a standing ovation. Give Nabiya Yard his due while he's able to see it, feel it, and experiencing it. Thank you, Nabi. You deserve it. You've earned it. You've worked for it. This has got to be a first. It's a highly unusual thing for me to give an award to the police, let alone the FBI. Forgive me, Lord. Work on me. Help me. Wendell Anthony, head of the Detroit NACP, the largest branch of the NACP in the nation, pastor of Fellowship Chapel, community advocate and activist, one who has fought against the police, fought for reform at every level, one who has demonstrated against rogue police, not good police, and the negative forces within the FBI, not the good ones, to now stand before you and present an award to the former director, Paul Abate. Could it be that Paul Abate is an unusual and different keeper, defender, and respecter of the laws of our nation and its people? In 1935, in an article in the Employee magazine called The Investigator, W.H. Drain Lester, the then editor, wrote these words: "At last, we have a name that lends itself to dignified abbreviation, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which quite naturally becomes FBI. In the past, our nicknames, which the public are so prone to give us, have been varied. Justice agents, DJ men, government men are but a few of them, with the Bureau itself incorrectly referred to as a Crime Bureau, Identification Bureau, and Crime Prevention Bureau. The latest appellation, and perhaps the one which has become the most widespread, is G-men, an abbreviation itself for government men. But FBI is the best and one from which we might well choose our motto. For those initials also represent the three things for which the Bureau and its representatives always stand for: fidelity, bravery, and integrity. It is out of this historical crucible that Paul Abate has emerged, beginning with his career in the New York City office in 1996, handling major criminal investigations and serving on the SWAT team. He has not just sat behind a desk. He was in the field, from the Middle East, Operations Unit, Joint Terrorism Task Forces, serving as supervisory special agent in Iraq and Afghanistan. He has emerged serving as a supervisor in the Newark Field Office's Joint Terror Task Force from 2006 to 2009, receiving the Attorney General's Award for Exceptional Service. He has emerged, managing all criminal and cyber investigations worldwide, international operations, critical incident response, and victim assistance. He has emerged, head of the Washington Field Office 2015 to 2016, and formerly special agent in charge of the Detroit Field Office on scene commander in Libya, leading the Benghazi investigation from Los Angeles to DC. He has served. He has led at every level of this organization: compliance, cyber, response, human resources, finance, to name only a few. Appointed as the 19th Deputy Director of the FBI in 2021, working with Director Christopher Wray, he has emerged not as an untouchable, but someone who was very touchable and sensitive to both the people doing the investigating as well as the people being investigated. He has emerged from a system that tolerated J. Edgar Hoover for 48 years, whose misdeeds folks were afraid to tell. And now we find ourselves having to guard against a new phenomenon known as Cash Patel. So we thank you, Paul, for holding up the banner, for respecting the people, and for standing up for justice and integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, our lifelong Commitment to Justice Award recipient, a friend, a brother, one who likes a good cigar, one who ain't scared to be among the people, one who don't believe in injustice, but believes in justice for all of us. Let us welcome our friend and our brother, Paul Abate.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. It is a privilege to be here with you all, and what a blessing to be introduced by our friend and brother, Reverend Anthony. Thank you for your words, your leadership, your action, everything that you've done and you continue to do. I can't express my thanks enough. It's difficult also to express how fortunate I feel to be here with, thank you, Nabi, with all of you tonight. I came here to Michigan back over a decade ago in 2013 to serve in the office here with the FBI, covering the entire state of Michigan. And I've been around a lot in the FBI. I retired in January, as was mentioned, after almost 29 years in the organization. I went to a lot of places. Thank you. Around the country and around the world, but the very best decision I ever made was to accept the assignment to come here to Michigan for the Detroit Field Office, because it gave me a chance to meet all of you and become a part of this community, and it's family. I've never met a community of people like this anywhere that I've been before, and I thank you for that. And I feel lucky, again, and fortunate to be back here again. When I got here, what I found was something that I hadn't seen anywhere I'd been before, nor that I saw. It's the trust and the partnership, the relationship with the community reaching out to government, to the FBI, to law enforcement, and bringing it together and delivering what is paramount, what we all value so much, and that's the safety and the security and the protection of our families, our children, our loved ones, delivering that together with the highest level of trust and partnership, but also protecting and ensuring that people's civil rights are protected and freedoms and liberties that we all value so much and are part of our Constitution and the foundation on which our country is built. And we can do all that, and you've proved it here, because it is an elite model that can be done while treating everyone as each individual is entitled to and deserves to be treated fairly and equally with dignity and respect. We can have all that. And you've proven it here like no other place. That's what I found when I arrived, and we worked together to elevate that even to an even greater level, and it will continue to be a model. It's the right thing to do, and it can be done. And I'll tell you, when I look back on that and everything that you've accomplished here and that we've done together, it's more important than ever now, given the extremely challenging times that we've faced. As Reverend Anthony has said here at this event before, the struggle for justice is continuing now more than ever before. It is what brings us together here tonight and always, and it's a reminder that the fight must and will continue forever. I'm humbled again to be here. Again, I feel so fortunate. I'm eternally grateful to the ACRL, to the board members, to Nabi, my brother. I love you. Thank you for, as the Reverend said, for making this organization. I love you too, Rev. Thank you for everything. Thanks to each of you, and to my fellow honorees. Chad said it too, like I've been to this event many times in the past when I was here, and subsequently I never thought I would be a part of it like this, so I'm so grateful. So I want to recognize others who are being recognized as well, and thank you all. Please be safe. God bless you all. Thank you, and have a great evening. I appreciate you all.
Here's a special recognition. What I would like to have is folks from Jewish Voice for Peace, please stand up. All the way to the back. That's right. ACRL also wants to recognize Jewish Voice for Peace who are with us tonight. Their bold and advocacy and commitment to justice have made a long-lasting impact, and we're grateful to having them standing in solidarity with ACRL's mission. Mariam has also said that all the folks who are clapping, your hard work is not going to go in vain. Outside of starters, dinner is also there. So there's more to starters. Mariam, is that correct? All right, fantastic, cool, all right. That's good, people are happy. All right, up next, we're proud to honor 3 individuals with the Resilience in Justice Award, a recognition given to those who have shown unyielding strength and a deep commitment to community justice. These recognitions honor individuals who have not only endured challenges of injustice, but have risen above them to become voices for change, hope, and healing in our communities. Their stories remind us that true justice is not only found in the courtroom, it's built every day in neighborhoods, schools, and city halls by people who never give up. To present these honors, please welcome someone who has dedicated his life to public health, justice, and service, Dr. Abdul Al-Said. He's the former director of Wayne County Health Department, a physician and a progressive leader who previously ran for governor of Michigan and has just announced his candidacy for U.S. Senate in 2026. He's also long been a champion of equitable health care, clean air and water, as well as economic justice for all Michiganders. Doctor, thank you for joining us on stage.
Good evening. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Y'all, we could do better. I know we're waiting to eat, but assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. There it is. It is my honor to be up here today to present an award, the Resilience in Justice Award, to 3 extraordinary people whose journeys remind us that justice isn't a destination. Justice isn't a state of being, but justice is a journey. So I'm going to invite them here to the stage. Commissioner Darrell Woods, Teferi Brent, and Negus Vu. All 3 of these individuals, their experiences we share tonight because they remind us that the work of justice is ongoing. It doesn't end. And it doesn't change based on what the challenges that are laid in front of our paths. And they remind us what it looks like to continue to fight for justice. And the reason we have to remember that justice is in fact a journey is because too often the choice for justice is made one step at a time. And each of these individuals is someone who in their life has modeled that choice to take steps toward justice, not just in their local communities, but to demonstrate what justice means in the first place. And I'm going to read a little bit about each of them here for you. Our first honoree, Teferi Brent. He's a lifelong Detroiter and a fearless community leader whose work spans decades of service and sacrifice. From founding coalitions like Detroit 300 and Dignity for Detroit to mentoring young organizers nationwide, Brother Teferi has stood firm in his mission to defend the weak, uplift the vulnerable, and speak truth in rooms where too often silence once echoed. A minister, a father, and a pillar of faith and justice, Teferi's work has left an indelible mark on the city. Next, we have Commissioner Darrell Wood Sr., a man who's turned a life sentence into a life of purpose. After serving nearly 30 years behind bars, Darrell emerged not bitter, but better, committed to saving lives and reshaping the system that once confined him. From founding youth deterrent programs to launching mentorship initiatives in juvenile detention centers, his journey is proof that redemption is real, and his leadership now influences policy, inspires hope, and gives voice to the power of second chances. And finally, we recognize Negus Vu, also known as Brandon Norris, a grassroots warrior whose activism is rooted in lived experience. From Detroit's West Side to the front lines of violence prevention, Negus has transformed tragedy into transformation. As the founder of the People's Action, he's helped lead one of Detroit's most successful community-based gun violence intervention programs, ShotSpotters, showing us all that when you empower the people, change is not only possible, it's unstoppable. These three men, each of them in their own way, and together, certainly, Teferi, Darrell, and Negus, each carry a story of resilience. But together, they form a chorus of courage, compassion, and conviction. Now, before I say a few words, we've got board member Nasser Baidoun who would like to say a few words here.
I just wanted, I have the honor today of knowing these three individuals for over 10 to 15 years. And not only do they represent their communities, but they also have worked hard to uplift their communities. And they have worked to make sure that the African American community is represented, is treated well, is respected, and achieves economic justice. I've had the honor to be in the streets with them. I've had the honor to work when there's issues with them. And not only are they community activists, but they really do care. And they don't do it for profit, they don't do it for gain, they don't do it to have their names in the papers, because they always do it behind the scenes. And it's an honor to work with them, it's an honor to call them my friends, and I look forward to continue the relationship, and I appreciate everything that you do for the Black community as well as for the Arab American community. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
So we'll have a minute to hear from each of the honorees. Commissioner Woods.
I want to thank this honorable body for this distinguished award. Nabeed, thank you for the lifetime membership at the cigar bar. Lifetime free gas. Yeah. Well, I stand on the shoulder of a giant that's on your board. You didn't cover the fact that I am a lifetime member of the NAACP, and I am a byproduct of Reverend Wendell Anthony. When I was condemned to die in prison, it was Reverend Anthony who came behind prison bars and wrapped his arms around us and caused us to become freedom fighters behind prison bars. So throughout his entire presidency, he has stood side by side with me and numerous of men who are out here, business owners, and bringing healing in the city of Detroit, in the city of Dearborn, and everywhere. And so I'm very, very honored to receive this award with these two giants in this room because they should be getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom because we stopped the violence in the city of Detroit. We were behind the scenes making sure that the city of Detroit did not burn. And so I'm very, very humbled. I'm very, very appreciative to make history as a person who has been justice impacted and served 29 years, had life without the possibility of parole, but now the chair of the Detroit Board of Police Commission for the city of Detroit, appointed by the mayor of the city of Detroit, appointed by the governor of the state of Michigan to the State Appellate Defenders Commission. So I sit on the board of SATO as well. And I'm also sitting on the board of DWIN as well. And so service is the rent we pay for the space that we occupy. Nasser is our brother in the struggle. We don't look at that he's an Arab and or we are African Americans. We look at each other as brothers in this struggle, in this fight for freedom. Nabeed is our brother. That's our brother, that's our friend. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And we're going to keep on fighting a good fight and continue to roll up our sleeves and do everything that we can to bring healing and restoration in our communities. So thank you for this honor. Thank you for this award. And we don't do it for the award, we do it for the reward from our Father which is in heaven. So assalamu alaikum, God bless you.
Grace and peace, for this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. For I shall bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continually be in my mouth. Amen. I want to say thank you to the Arab American Civil Rights League for all the wonderful work that you do, for the many sacrifices that you have made for black and brown people, for Arab American and African American people. I want to specifically thank Brother Nabeed for your serious commitment to the liberation of all human beings, especially Arab American brothers and sisters and African American brothers and sisters, brother. You have been consistent, and I see you everywhere. As sharp as you are, I still see you in the streets with the people, brother. And then, of course, my brother Nasser Beydoun and brother Abdul. I have a different story about the two of them I'll get to in a second. But I want to honor the sisters in the Arab American Civil Rights League, Sister Mona, of course, and your executive director is a Sister Miriam, is it? I appreciate your wonderful work. Sister was on my head about making sure I got her everything that she needed. I said, this is a worker right here. I love worker bees, right? So I love soldiers, so I appreciate the sisters in the Arab American Civil Rights League, amen? And then, of course, I'm real big on, I'm not comfortable with talking about me, but I love talking about the work and the people who made me who I am, right? So I also am a byproduct and the son of Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony. He's my pastor, my mentor, my teacher, my exemplar. He is the example of what it means to be a black man and what it means to be a freedom fighter. I didn't have the privilege of personally knowing Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, but I have had the privilege to sit up under the leadership of Reverend Dr. Wendell Anthony, who I would consider to be one of the baddest black men on the face of this planet, amen? So no, I did not meet my pastor like my brother Darrell in prison, but my pastor kept me out of prison, amen? So I'm very, very thankful for him. And also, of course, my mother, Clementine Barfield, who was the founder of Save Our Sons and Daughters. It's those two people who I always make sure I thank whenever I get any kind of acknowledgement. But most importantly, I want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, For Jesus says we strive for peace and promote it. He is the Prince of Peace. Those of us who claim to be Christians and those of us who claims to be Muslim, which means one who is at peace or peace itself, right? If we claim to be Christians and Muslims, then our work has to be about creating a culture, climate, and consciousness of peace within our communities. If we are not about peace, we are not good children of God, amen? So I just want to make sure I honor them. And then in closing, I want to acknowledge Nasser and Brother Abdul, because in 2022, I believe when Derek Leon Roberts was murdered on Mother's Day at a gas station on 6 Mile in Southfield, right around the street from our church. And we shut that gas station down through protest and demonstration. Brother Abdul and Brother Nasser were the first brothers from the Arab American community to show up and speak loudly about the injustice that had occurred. I thank God for their courage. Not only did they show up and speak against the injustice, but they also were responsible for helping to make that gas station the kind of business that our community deserved. And a Brother Nasser and several other brothers in the community paid for that brother's funeral, took care of that brother's family, and I just want to acknowledge them for that work. We do this together. I thank you for your courage. I thank you for your generosity and your kindness. And Brother Abdul, to this day, still has the most robust and progressive criminal justice reform platform that I've ever seen by any candidate in the state of Michigan when he was running for governor. So we support this brother and his beautiful vision for criminal justice reform as well. God bless you all, and thank you very much.
No, but it's definitely a pleasure to be here with the Arab Civil Rights Lead. It's a pleasure. I can't be more honorable. Many of you, I know some of you, brothers and sisters, and I'm going to be short and sweet. I'm not as elegant a speaker as these brothers, but I will say this. Being here and being an activist and a community organizer for over 13 years, there was many heartaches, there was pain, there was struggles, there was also successes. But one of the most important things is that I've learned to have more deeply love for all the different nationalities, ethnicities, our Arab brothers, our Asian brothers and sisters, all of these different nationalities. I've learned so much, and I've worked with so many of them. All of them is beautiful. And I think what the Arab Civil Rights League, it represents the conglomerate of different people from all different backgrounds coming together for justice for all different ethnicities and groups. And that's what this represents. I want to thank Nabi for his great leadership, making this being here for this 13th annual. And I've also loved his business. If you haven't been to Did It My Way, it's one of my favorite places. They give a round of applause. We got to love that. Also, my good brother, Nasser, he's been nothing but above and superb of coming and working together. He is the epitome of working with the African community. He has been nothing but supportive to all of our endeavors, all of our efforts, and we're supporting that brother. Just as Dura Woods said so eloquently, we don't look at him as an Arab, we look at him as our brother, because that's what he represents. Also, Brother Abdul, when he was running for his candidacy for governor, I was a big supporter of him. I've even knocked doors. I couldn't be more honored for him to be the one who speaks for us and to present us with the award. Above all, I want to thank God, I want to thank my mother and everybody here. So it's been a pleasure. I'm short and sweet. Thank you. Thank you.
Are we moving in? Should I just sit down here or should I kneel down?
But the next part of tonight's program, it's the most important part. It is about national leadership is bold, unapologetic, and grounded in justice. And for that, I want to have Nabi Ayad come up on the stage to explain more about it as he will take on the keynote segment.
First, recognize that Jamal Bowman, our other keynote, will not be here this evening. Unfortunately, he has his daughter's graduation in exactly the same date as this special event. And so we understand, and we have a policy with ACRL that individuals, they have to be here present. But anyways, from the wonderful work that Jamal Bowman has done, we love you and we appreciate you. But at this time, we do have here someone present, this Corey Bush. So it is my great honor. Yeah, you can say, yeah, you can clap. It is my great honor and privilege to introduce a truly remarkable leader, a fearless advocate for justice and a beacon of hope for many across the nation, Congressman Corey Bush. Corey's journey is a testament to the power of resilience, compassion, and unwavering dedication to creating a more equitable and just society. Rising from the challenging beginnings, she has shown us all that true leadership is rooted in authenticity, courage, and a relentless commitment to serve others. As a former nurse, Corey's life has been dedicated to healing and caring for her community. As a grassroots organizer and activist, she has fought tirelessly against systematic injustice, inequality, and oppression. Folks, can we please quiet it down? Again, give some respect for this individual that gave up her career for you, for this community, and what she does on a daily basis. Please quiet for a second and recognize this wonderful lady. As a congresswoman, she has used her voice to stand up for the marginalized, challenge the status quo, and push for transformative change. Her story inspires all of us, to believe that no matter where we come from, the obstacles we face, we all have power to make a difference. Cori Bush embodies the spirit of activism and unwavering belief that together we can build a future rooted in justice, compassion, and hope. She has never rested in a fight for the everyday American struggling to make ends meet. She did not rest when she had to live out of her vehicle, when she became homeless after losing her home with her 2 young children. She did not rest while her brothers and sisters in the black community are being killed for a simple police stop. She did not rest while the average American was being evicted from their homes. She did not rest while the food on the table, while the average American was working paycheck to paycheck at a minimum wage that couldn't put food on the table. She will not rest while our infrastructure in this nation is falling apart, yet we send billions of overseas to drop bombs on children. She will not rest while we have a foreign nation controlling our legislative branch of government. She will not rest while our children in Gaza are being slaughtered. She will not rest while 2 million people in Gaza are being starved to death, rest assured, right before our very own eyes. She will not rest while children in Gaza are being burnt alive. She will not rest while doctors are being executed. She will not rest while the press is being executed. She will not rest when our government is complicit in genocide. She will not rest as she is alive. She will rest when she dies. I love you, Cori Bush. The community loves you. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are absolutely on the right side of history. I want now to invite our very own special voice for our community in Congress, our very own. She's not here. Okay, Rashida Tlaib is not here. Okay, very good. That's former ACL member as well. But Cori Bush, please come to the stage and be recognized.
Remember me, Cori Bush? As a member of Congress, I fought for the people. I stood on the side of justice at home and abroad.
Congresswoman Cori Bush slept on the steps of the Capitol, pushing Congress and the president to help keep millions of Americans from facing eviction.
Cori Bush called for a ceasefire very early on.
AIPAC have spent over $8 million in an effort to defeat Bush.
Outside groups, including AIPAC, spent millions and millions of dollars to unseat me, to try to silence me. But baby, I'm still here, and I'm not alone.
Remember me? I'm Jamal Bowman. My belief in standing with working people and fighting for what's right meant that for some people, I was saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. The special interests came after me too.
Congressmember Bowman, one of the first to call for a ceasefire.
Pro-Israel groups have spent close to $20 million to take out progressive Congressman Jamal Bowman.
The most expensive congressional primary in American history.
It was essential for them to get me out, but I'm not here to talk about me.
We're here to talk about the big picture, to show you what's going on in America.
We'll be breaking down what's really happening in Washington, D.C.
The corruption, the lobbying, the big money, and how we could all be working better for you, but isn't.
It's our insider's perspective from the outside.
On our new show,
Bowman and Bush, y'all.
Watch us on Zatale's YouTube channel. See you soon.
I got to mention a very important quote. AIPAC has spent more in history, the biggest spending on any congressional race in the history of this nation, against Jamal Bowman at $24 million and Cori Bush at $21 million, to unseat them because they're standing up for justice and humanity. So you folks in this room must appreciate what these folks had to endure to fight for the children of Gaza and to fight for justice and humanity. Please, Cori Bush.
Thank you so much for this honor. I am I'm thrilled, I'm excited, I'm heartbroken, and I'm feeling uneasy. But I'm so thankful that you all thought about Jamal and I. Even now, after we're gone, we don't have the power of Congress, but, you know, with us, on our side, behind us. And you all still made the decision that we still care about you, even though you can't be our voice right now in Congress. And notice I said right now. Thank you again to the Arab American Civil Rights League, to Nabi and to Miriam, to the board, for this recognition and to share this space and commune with each and every one of you. I want to shout out my sister who had to leave, Rashida Tlaib. She's always right there with me. And I have to say this about Rashida. I hope you know the gem that you have. Because one thing that I've seen, and I can't say that I've seen it here, but what we understand is that oftentimes where we're familiar, where we're common, people don't necessarily see our value, or they don't necessarily see our worth as people do elsewhere. So I want you all to know how amazing that human being is. Let me just say that in the really tough days, when I had to make votes, because my start, and I'll get to that, my start in activism was when Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson in 2014. Every single time in Congress, we had to make votes where we weren't saying we were anti-police, but we were saying we were pro-standing up to make sure that black folks weren't killed disproportionately in this country and with impunity by our law enforcement. She stood with me. The days when I wanted to cry because of the terror that was being waged at me, for lack of a better word, Rashida was there. And so I need you all to understand that she didn't care that we aren't the same color or the same religion, or I was her sister. And so I have to give her flowers, even though she's not here. To my friend and board member who is here with us, Stephanie Spalding, and to my incredible husband who is sitting up here with me, thank you for traveling with me. And you all, I could not do this without them. I could not do this work. Stephanie is the one that will call me in the morning and will pray with me when I need to get through. When I need this breakthrough, Stephanie is going to pray with me. And my husband is the one that undergirds me. He's the one that is there. And so my foundation, my joy, my love, my husband. So we heard Nabi and we heard the video, how AIPAC came against me and Jamal. I want you all to think about one thing. There is something very common about Jamal and I. There's one thing that's very similar about us. Two people that they came against. Jamal had the most expensive congressional primary in U.S. history. I had the second. In the same year, last year. One thing that's the same about us is we are both black. I want you, and I'm saying that for this reason. AIPAC made the decision that they were going to target black folks. And they made the decision to do it because they also understand that we can come after the black community because how many folks are actually going to show up for them? So they thought. And yeah, they were successful in 2024. But now we see them, now we know, now we understand, and now we have to understand what solidarity looks like from a different vantage point. But I'll say this, when we talk about courage, I remember the days when I was so hungry that my mind, I don't know if anybody in here can relate, but I was so hungry that my mind started to slip. I started to think about doing things that I would have never done before, simply because I was hungry. I was only feeding my children. I was a single parent. I remember thinking, I will eat on Tuesday. Something happens to you when you've been through some things. When I lived out of my car with my two children, they were babies. It would get cold at night, it'd be hot during the day. But at night, I couldn't close my eyes for too long because I was afraid if I woke up. After sleeping too long, maybe one of my children would have died in the night. When Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson in 2014, I didn't have to think about what to do. Show up. I didn't know how to show up necessarily, but I knew presence meant something. I learned along the way. So right now in this moment, the question is, how do we show up? And I get it. We've done some great things and we've shown up, so we all have. I think this is a room full of accolades. Like everybody in this room is somebody. Say, I am somebody. I believe it. Do you believe it? This side of the room said, I am somebody. Let's talk about this side of the room. I am somebody. You have to say it so that you can believe it. And if you don't believe it, it will start to grow. I am a strong believer in the words that we say and how they have power. And so, being out there on those streets of the Ferguson uprising, getting my start in activism, even though before that I was pastoring, before that I was helping to get people out of human trafficking, and I was working with our unhoused community members. But I didn't know activism in this way. But what did we do? We showed up. We got our butts kicked. Dogs unleashed on us. Noise munitions. Tear gas. I will never forget, that's when I learned that tear gas is not something that comes out of a tank and if you're in the vicinity, you get hit. It was when I learned that tear gas is, I want you. And they direct it at a person. Being beaten. I'll never forget one day where the police grabbed me. I was helping someone. I was a nurse. I was helping someone who we believe was suffering from a heart attack out there because they tear gassed us so hard. We believe she was having a heart attack, and so we were carrying her to safety. And the police was so angry that we were carrying her. We decided, we're going to take her through the MSNBC and CNN tent. They're broadcasting live. We're going to take this body straight through the tent because if they shoot us and kill us, it's at least on live TV. The police was very angry. Held up their long guns at us and said, drop her. I said, I'm not dropping her. She's having a heart attack. I need the paramedics who are behind you. You are not skilled enough to be able to take care of her. I just need to get her to them. Next thing I knew, I saw the stars. I was wondering, why am I seeing the stars coming towards my face? And I realized that once I started coming to the ground, I started to see the ground, and then I hit the ground, and then I was stomped like a rag doll. Did that make me stop? No. It fueled my fire. So when the time came, and I'm saying this because I want you to think about your preparation. I want you to think about the moment that you are in. All of the things, the wonderful things we've heard about people tonight. Congratulations to all of the honorees. But even for those who have not heard their name called this evening, you all are still doing great things in the community, locally, nationally, internationally. But that was just preparation for what you have to do next. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how long you've been doing whatever you've been doing. I don't care how much money you've donated. There is a new thing that you can do. And that new thing starts now. And it starts now because I just told you that it did. It starts now because we see the attacks. We see the devastation. We see this genocide continue to grow and grow and grow. We hear Smotrich talk about Amalek. And when we study our Bible, we understand where that comes from. But what I understand is that each and every person deserves life. Each and every person deserves dignity and humanity and safety. And our people deserve self-determination. And so we fight for that. So the ethnic cleansing, it has a red carpet. And it has a red carpet because this country has made a decision that we're going to allow it. And not only are we going to allow it, we're going to fund it. How do we change that? You. And when I'm saying you, notice this finger points right back at me. And so I am not moved by the fact that AIPAC spent so much money. It wasn't just AIPAC 2. It was AIPAC worked with crypto and all of these other folks, big real estate, and that's where all of that money came from. I'm not moved by the fact that they moved me out of Congress. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. That was a title. That was a room in a building. Yes, I was able to do some great work, and if I go back, I'll do even greater. But that does not stop us from the work that we can do right where we are. But my eyes have to be on what I can do now and what I'm supposed to do later. And so I'm asking every person in this room, who are you to be now? Yes, you're amazing. I love it. But that was 25 minutes ago. What can you bring to this time now? We can call out Sojourner Truth. We can call out Harriet Tubman. And I'm speaking about civil rights leaders because that's who I look to for my inspiration. We can call out Dr. King, Malcolm X, and all of these folks, Huey Newton, Fred Hampton. We can call these names. But the thing is, they were you. So when are we calling your name? What is your name going to be? And then the legacy that you leave, our work has to be for our children's children. And I'm about to sit down in just a moment, but I need you to get this. Change happens with us. We're not waiting on anybody else to do what we can do for ourselves. We'll bring the fire. We'll bring the change. We'll bring the disruption. Because if we don't, more lives in Gaza, more lives in Congo, Sudan, what's happening now in Haiti, more lives right here in Detroit, more lives in New Orleans, more lives. Right now in St. Louis, Missouri, there was a tornado that ripped through the inner city. The inner city, not the suburbs, not the rural area. The inner city, the most marginalized communities in the area, the most under-resourced. Right now, there are bodies under rubble. I stood in St. Louis last week. In front of St. Louis is a bunch of bricks. I stood there in front of piles of bricks that used to be people's homes, and this primarily affected the Black community. I'm standing in front of bricks, and I wept because I was wondering, am I standing here while bodies are right in front of me? And it made me think about the rubble in Gaza. And it made me think about how we're fighting to save those we can save from the starvation, from the devastation, from the massacre. And then right here at home, we gotta save folks right here who those same tax dollars that are bombing those folks that are under the rubble in Gaza, that money could have been used to help the folks so that they didn't end up under rubble right here in the United States because they didn't have the money to get their roofs fixed or to get the tuck pointing done on their homes. I wept. But change happens with us, and so we won't look away when the child cries for bread in Gaza, when the mother in Khan Yunis mourns the remains of their home. We won't look away. We won't look away when we hear the silence of those who have the power. And I said, hear the silence, because silence is loud. When we hear the silence of those who are in power, who could stop the genocide and the ethnic cleansing, who are turning their heads away from the immigrants who are being disappeared, and it makes me think about, and I'm continuing to talk because I got the keynote, so y'all just be patient. I think about how on both sides of my family, I am the descendant of enslaved Black people right here in this country. On both sides of my family, I think about who I don't know because my family was pulled apart at some point. At some point, centuries ago. I think about how my last name isn't actually Bush. That was the slave master's name, not my family. And so I think about how this country has the ability to tear up whole families and legacy if we allow it. There were really good people during chattel slavery. They thought they were good. They were good and silent. They might not have owned people. They might not have enslaved Africans, but they sure allowed it. 1,700 members of Congress enslaved Black people. The first 10 out of the first 12 presidents enslaved Black people. One even traded from the Oval. That's the history of this country. But I'm going to tell y'all something. We got an opportunity to make a new history for this country, and it's all of us. We have that opportunity. So again, I'm going to end with this. When folks stood up, when a delegation of Palestinians came to the United States to stand up with us during the Ferguson uprising, and when I asked them, why are you here? They said, because we understand oppression, we understand state-sanctioned violence, and we understand that if we don't speak up and if people don't understand the power that they have, that this will continue on, and we don't want what happens to us in our country to happen to you. And so we're here with you to teach you about what to do when you're tear gassed, to teach you about how to put on a gas mask. And I just couldn't believe it because they were risking themselves. And I remember thinking to myself at the work that they did on the worst nights when they were out there with us, arm in arm, locked arms with the Jewish community, locked arms with our LGBT community, locked arms with our AAPI community, locked arms with people from all over the world. And we stood together to say, not another one, that Black Lives Matter. And we made that decision to stand as one solid community community. We have to make that decision again now to stand as one solid community and to make sure that this regime that is trying to tear us apart understands that you can't have us and that we will fight you. Now is that moment. And so I had the opportunity to pay it back when it was time to stand up for Gaza. And I introduced that ceasefire now resolution alongside my sister Rashida Tlaib. And people said to me, Corey, why are you doing this? You realize you black, right? That was part of the point, was yes, I'm black and my sister is being hurt right now. She's Palestinian American. She's the only one in Congress. So I'm going to stand up for my sister and I'm going to take the brunt of this so that she doesn't have to. Because when we were out there on the street, there were Palestinians who stood up for us and said, we will take the brunt of this. There were white folks and Jewish folks who said, we will take the brunt of this and stand up for y'all. And so in this moment, what are you going to bring different? What are you going to do? And I hope you feel compelled to go into your hiding place, your prayer place, your spiritual place, your place of meditation, and find out, who am I in this moment now? What is my name? What is my purpose? And who am I to be tomorrow to help change what's happening in our world so that we have the transformation that we need and so that we can all live safe and free Palestine.
We're now honored to welcome another nationally recognized voice in the fight for justice, a passionate advocate for civil rights, and author and journalist, Sean King. To introduce Mr. King, please welcome ACRL board member Yusuf Al-Madrahi.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is a true privilege to stand before you tonight at the ACRL 13th Annual Gala, Fight for Justice Gala, a night where we don't just celebrate resilience, we ignite our shared commitment to equity, dignity, and truth. That commitment lives in the man I am honored to introduce here tonight. Sean King is more than an advocate. He's a transformative voice in the ongoing struggle for justice in America. His work has inspired millions, challenge deeply rooted systems, and help redefine what accountability looks like in our time today. Named one of Time Magazine's 25 most influential people on the internet. He's the founder and editor-in-chief of the North Star, co-founder of Real Justice PAC, leader of Grassroots Law Project, and through these platforms, Sean hasn't just spoken truth to power, he's pushed power to listen. He's a best-selling author, award-winning speaker, host of The Breakdown, a podcast heard by millions. Whether in a courtroom, on a college campus, inside the church, or in a mosque, Sean shows up to amplify voices that are often too silenced. And so tonight, at a gala grounded in the legacy of fighting for what's right, we are joined by someone whose life work embodied that mission. Please join me in welcoming a powerful, courageous, and an unwavering voice of justice, Mr. Sean King. Please welcome to the stage.
Assalamu alaikum. I don't know about you, but when they started introducing me, I had a moment where I thought, are we going to eat dinner? Did anybody else have that thought? I knew it wasn't, I know we are, but when they said it was my time to speak, I just had a moment. I was like, maybe we're not eating dinner. It can be that way. Many times I am the speaker that's keeping people from their dinner. And I don't know what's harder, speaking while they serve dinner or speaking while everybody wants you to finish so they can eat dinner. Or
speaking after Cori Bush. I literally told the brother at my table, I said, I wish I had spoken before Cori Bush and not after Cori Bush. She is one of my heroes. I just adore her and respect her and her husband and her family. It made my heart happy to know that a woman who was formerly unhoused, a woman who was a nurse, a woman who was an everyday person, which is rare in Congress. Now, the literal majority of Congress people are millionaires. I don't mean like a few, I'm talking about the majority. Many of them are filthy rich. So to see her and our brother Jamal Bowman, I was so eager, like many of you, to see Brother Jamal. My daughter also just recently graduated from college, and I also would have skipped this gala for her as well. But I'm uncomfortable with the way that we're framing it. Now, let's be clear. I know Cori and Jamal, and everything they did, they chose to do. Every stance they took, they chose, with eyes wide open. They come from a background that's similar to mine, where you understand there are consequences for your words. I'm uncomfortable with framing it that they gave their seat up. Their seats were stolen. Let's be very honest about it. We're talking about, this is a very old country. The United States is not new. And we're talking about in 2 districts of working class people, then represented by a nurse in Congresswoman Cori Bush and a middle school principal in Jamal Bowman. Like, who better do you want in Congress than 2 people like this? And they spent, combined, not just that one organization, it was almost $100 million spent directly and indirectly to steal those seats. And to place in them, let me be very specific, very ineffective people. I know the people that replaced them. They are 2 of the most ineffective, useless members of Congress that we have. And this was the goal. Just when you invite me to speak, it's a hot mic. I know the brother that replaced her. We all knew him. This man, literally, Wesley Bell, I know him well. I worked on his campaign for district attorney. In essence, AIPAC literally bought him. He had openly said he would not run against her. And once AIPAC said, don't worry, we will spend an unlimited amount of money, he violated an oath he made to her and he made to many of us that he would not run against her, and he did it. They bought him. This is what they're doing. They are buying and selling people, and it's so fundamentally outrageous because right now, every poll shows the majority of Americans. I'm talking, when I say the majority of Americans, we are now at the point where I never thought my mouth would say this, that Tucker Carlson is speaking against the genocide. We are now at the point where Joe Rogan, where Theo Vaughn, where Candace Owens, where Piers Morgan. Listen, we can say that they're late. We're at the point where every poll shows the majority of Americans are completely, totally against this genocide. And in the 1980s, most polls showed that 10% of Americans had a negative view of Israel. That is now almost 60% of Americans have a negative view. And how could you not? To see what they're doing? And this man and this woman, their seats were stolen, not just from them, they were stolen from us. I thought I could really only count on one hand the number of people in Congress that I actually trusted, where I knew that they would not buckle under pressure. And there were many people, I learned the lesson the hard way, that I thought would not buckle, and it's a lot of pressure. Good people go to Congress and buckle. And they found two people that they knew would not buckle. And this is what we're dealing with. When I heard so many wonderful speakers and awardees come up on stage, I heard two themes that I thought were very beautiful that also mean a lot to me. One theme that I heard was people thanking someone else for a wonderful relationship. You heard it over and over again. You heard a man say, this man spent 29 years in prison. And he said, that man right there came to visit me. We had a relationship. You heard people say someone was killed that was not an Arab American, was not a Muslim, but other people showed up and they built relationships. Person after person came up here to talk about their relationship with this organization and how they trusted it. The foundation of everything we do, listen, many of you, I know you, many of you think of me as your friend. We have a relationship. I would fight for you. We built that. I need you to understand that the foundation of everything we do next, it's relationships. I'm gonna be very transparent. I was extremely uneasy speaking at an event where someone from the FBI was being awarded. It just makes me uncomfortable. I'm not even joking. I'm not here to make him uncomfortable. I'm just being very transparent. And I sat there and I thought about all the grievances that I have with the FBI, particularly as I think about the 100th birthday of our dear brother Malcolm X, who was known for many years of his life, not as Malcolm X, he was known as Detroit Red. This city shaped him and molded him in ways that really mattered. And we learn and learn and learn how much the FBI played a role in this man's assassination. And as I sat there, I wanted to be judgmental. And I just thought, he has a relationship with someone I don't know. It's a relationship. And I can't speak about that. They spoke like they were friends. I'm sitting in my seat shocked because I refuse to be friends. I'm just being frank with you. I could never be friends with someone in the FBI, but I'm thankful that someone could. Do you understand? It's a relationship. All of us can't be the same person. Some of us have to make decisions that others of us can't make. Some of us have to be at the table, and some of us have to be outside yelling about who's at the table. Like we all play different roles. And it's easy for us to judge someone else not knowing how that relationship came to be. The foundation of doing good work is relationships. I'll close with what I think is a beautiful story that I think is hopeful, but it's about relationships. In 2015, I was in Dallas, and a black woman who was a mother named Jacqueline Craig. Listen, I'm looking at the FBI. That man's an FBI agent. He can be beat up a little bit from me on stage. He's fine, I'm fine. We're gonna smile and shake hands, but I won't build a relationship, but someone else will, and I'm happy for it. Yeah, alhamdulillah, he embraces Islam, and we'll see. I'm saying, in 2015, a wonderful woman named Jacqueline Craig called the police because a white man who lived 2 doors down from her was beating up her children. She had young kids, and this man was literally punching them. It's all on film. And Sister Craig called the police, and the police came and beat her up and arrested her, Jacqueline Craig. A few days later, I went to Dallas at a church where there was a protest. And guess who I met for the very first time at that church? Sheikh Omar Suleiman. Sheikh Omar, who I didn't even know was well known. We followed each other on Twitter, but I barely knew anything about Sheikh Omar. And I thought, wow, this is a Muslim who cares so much about this black mother that he is at a church protesting and standing up for her. Then, a few weeks after that, I was at a protest and I met another Palestinian woman, another Muslim, named Linda Sarsour, who was protesting not for a Palestinian but for an African American. Then I met Sheikh Omar the second time, and he picked me up at the airport, and we went to protest for a young African American boy who was not a Muslim, who was not an Arab American, named Jordan Edwards, who was shot and killed by the police. And I formed a relationship with this man who was not so focused just on himself and just on his own people, that he fought for us. And Sister Corey said something, and I want to say it to you. We don't think, when we're fighting for Palestinians, we don't think we're doing you a favor. You're our friends. You are our family. We marched and fought, you marched and fought for us, and it was just our turn. That's all it is. And when you have friendships, you stand up. When everything hits the fan, you stand up and support your friends, no matter what the consequences. That's what we do. That's what this organization does. It takes incredibly difficult stances, and I will say, it brings together a very eclectic group of people that are necessary to really affect change. And after a while, you have to make a decision. Do you want to feel good, or do you want to change something? And there are enough of us in this room to change the things that we deeply care about. And here's what I know. We're barely even scratching the surface of our potential. I mean, I don't even think we've scratched 1% of what we're capable of, and that gives me hope. If I thought we had given it our all and we're still facing what we're facing, I might be depressed. I don't think we've seen our best work yet. Our best is ahead of us. Let's keep on pushing. Let's keep on fighting. It is my dream, if she wants to see our sister back in Congress. But whatever her hopes and dreams are, let's support her. Support this organization, and let's keep on fighting. Assalamu alaikum.